Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. This is Daily Global Insights 408. We apologize we could not get you a couple of episodes because Sridharji was traveling. We try our best to give you this episode three times a week. Sometimes travel comes in the way, so please bear with us for that. Most important thing: the George Soros link with Indian National Congress has been revealed. I want to share one graphic with you, and then I will invite our co-host Sridhar ji to add on that. Here we go. Sridhar ji, namaskaram and welcome to P Guru's channel.
Namaskaram and good morning to everybody, and good evening if you happen to be in India.
Sridhar ji, you have an overall message as you see. You know of Soros. You've seen his targets in the past. It's not just Modi. Just tell our viewers what you think this guy's aim is. He's also the biggest donor of the Democratic Party. Take it away, sir.
Well, I think it's very clear today. He has stirred up the controversy in India, and basically he has said that Modi is popular. He's not democratic. He's got anti-Muslim, which is why his popularity has risen. He's against some of the policies that Modi has enacted. He says even Adani issue is directly correlated to Modi ji. So in fact, this is the way he goes about. Going back into his history, his game was about shorting currency markets of weak countries and making money out of it. So what is his agenda? His agenda is very clear that he is not for. He is very much a left woke type of an agenda. He stirred up a huge amount of controversy in the 2021 World Economic Forum, 2022 World Economic Forum, when he was given the audience. It was obviously you get an audience, so he got the audience, and he went on to say how some of the countries' leaders are paralyzing the world with their policies, contrary to the realities. And he picks up Modi as one of them. He even did not spare Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, and so on. So his broad theory is against anything which is center and right, and is very much a left. And he has funded schools, he has funded programs, and all within the parameters of democracy. And in his own way, he goes about, and there is nobody to counter other than what you see some big in fact Republicans in United States don't even bother about him, but of course the BJP in India is very much anti this type of rhetoric that comes out of him. Also in Russia, he is not allowed. He went after Vladimir. They have banned him. He cannot enter Russia. It's obviously needless to say, Xi Jinping has his own views on him.
Thank you so much, sir. And we have one other piece of good news, viewers. Remember the episode that we did with T.G. Mohandas ji? Well, Lord Hanuman is back on the HLFT 42. We have confirmed this. Now this logo has been restored on the HLFT aircraft. This was something that was a needless controversy, in my opinion. But I just wanted to share that good news with you that coming on, sites like P Gurus and advocating something with facts and data, the way Sri Mohandas TG did had its effect. Thank you very much, viewers. And let's move on to the next item. Sridhar ji, the next item that I wanted to talk to you about was about what is this happening. I really think this what the word to explain it. Blinken is supposed to be meeting Wang Yi. Now, Biden wants to go and meet Xi Jinping, and Xi Jinping is now saying, if you are not going to do this, then there is no meeting. I thought it was the other way around. I thought they were desperate to meet in the United States.
Well, I think I mentioned to you, there is something going on within the Biden administration, within the policymakers. They seem to have this overbearing fear or overbearing theory that somehow we shouldn't do anything that upsets the Chinese and the Chinese relationship. This is one of the reasons why this whole balloon incident was kept in abeyance for almost a week before it became too late. And then they sent the F-35s to shoot down the so-called balloon over South Carolina. So the question, therefore, it begs the question whether actually Biden is supporter of Xi Jinping, or Xi Jinping has kind of ubiquitous control over Biden, and all the other things seems to be rhetoric in terms of his policies, but specific actions on ground, Mr. Biden is concerned, there's nothing that demonstrates what he is doing is anything to do with antagonizing China, Shriji.
And viewers, you must remember that Mr. Xi Jinping was appointed the General Secretary with the blessings of Obama, Biden, as well as Hillary Clinton. The triumvirate were in power at that point of time. They felt that this guy was malleable and ductile. My foot, he has done a 180 degrees on them. Right now, he's sitting on their neck and having fun. So this is how I see it. You can see many of the Elmer Yuan videos to get proof for how this whole thing played out a few years ago when he was made the General Secretary in 2012. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic. Sridharji, Twitter. Twitter has closed 2 of its 3 offices in India. It closed one almost immediately after Elon Musk became the CEO, became the owner and the CEO. Sir, Twitter is not really making money for Elon Musk. Twitter India, isn't it?
No, Twitter India as of pure. There are 3 reasons why Musk is shutting down. One is cost control. Second is basically, are those centers making enough revenue? There's no advertisers coming on board in terms of making money for Twitter. So India is not one of the strategic centers, as people would like to believe, on the revenue front. Very important. I mean, long ago, there was this hue and cry within India that India must develop its own platform to combat. So there are internal platforms, apparently. I don't have data to substantiate. There are internal platforms within India which can provide a much, much better framework for Indian audiences than Twitter.
Yes, indeed. And I would urge all of you to check out Koo, Koo. And Koo is very popular in vernacular languages. Kannada, Telugu, Tamil. At least the southern languages are very popular on Koo. I think Bengali also has picked up. So there's a fair amount of stuff going on. Next item that I would like to talk about is markets. Sridharji, in markets, again, the United States markets are going down. The wholesale price inflation in the WPI is again shooting up. Inflation effects are quite heavy. So how do we navigate the way forward, sir? How do you see the markets in the next few weeks?
The markets for the rest of the year, 2023, I think we had indicated, we haven't done a deep dive. 2023 is a difficult year, is going to be a difficult year to stem across. Why? Because nobody knows, or nobody is working on the right parameters on the inflation, which is the supply issues. Okay. Now, 2 important variables. One, interest rate. Continuing to rise interest rates is not going to be very helpful in terms of helping the economy. Number 2, that's obviously you can see reflected in the price WPI, and as well as the consumer price index, the CPI inflation. So interest rates is harming. Now, credit. The Fed has been withdrawing the asset purchase program, so there's also a credit squeeze. As a result, you still have pent up demand, prices going up, and there is a point of time the purchase is going to come down. Well, January had very good retail. In fact, January retail sales went up by 3%. It is not going to last when the consumer balance sheets, run out of cash. So what we are seeing is a temporary aberration in the consumer purchases, but the continued sustained issue around the headwinds of rising rates and rising prices at the same time.
Thank you, sir. And I want to draw your attention to that spill that happened on the city of Palestine in Ohio. Now, a lot of animals are dying, and there is a total seal on journalists even visiting the wreckage site. This is America, for God's sake, sir. What is going on? What is it that the government is trying to hide, sir?
Firstly, the government has mismanaged it. That's an obvious fact. Number two, they acted a bit late, but having acted, they acted in a chaotic manner. The residents were asked to be vacated at 3:45 a.m. in the morning under the threat of enforcement. Number two. Number three, they quickly looked at the EPA readings without, we are talking about vinyl chloride. So they quickly kind of looked at and they cleared and they asked people to come back. Now, what's happening? There is very obvious. The people on ground feel that it is a complete mismanagement on a number of fronts. One, the water is highly contaminated. They can see stains and discoloration of the water. The water is not potable, so people have been asked to drink bottled water. They have seen the death of their fishing is one of the big things. So fishes dying. They are also seeing foul smell and kind of all kinds of ailments arising out of that. There is no clear communication from the government. The rail, what we call as the rail, the station, the rail workers were supposed to come and participate in a town hall meeting to address the township on what exactly has happened and what is happening. What will they do to restore normalcy in the East Palestine? And lo and behold, they never turned up for the town hall, which infuriated people further. The transportation secretary, Pete Buttigieg, hasn't turned up and he is receiving a huge flag. And it's very unfortunate the type of comment that he has issued, which is to say there are several accidents. This is one of the accidents, which reflects the lack of sentiments. Biden has not issued a statement, and we are still waiting for a statement from Biden on the issue. So whether they have mismanaged it by virtue of this shooting, that the forced what you call flow of gases by shooting at those huge gas chambers, we don't know. But the fact remains that this whole issue is mismanaged. Contamination is prevalent, possibly not in air, and the city is non-livable, according to many residents, some of whom I've happened to listen on their interviews in the TV.
Viewers, I have to tell you this. In our recording with Elmer 2 days ago, we had mentioned that Biden will say the last 3 balloons were not of Chinese origin. That's exactly what he said. He's trying to. There is something going on there. This is just way beyond coincidences here. Second thing is, he doesn't want to talk about the oil spill, but he wants to run for president. He issues his health certificate. The interesting thing is, his health certificate talks that he's physically fit. Sridharji, what about his mental fitness?
Not assessed. Not assessed. So this is the doctors who said, "Oh, great, but what about his mental, strength and the ability to make critical decisions?" Not assessed. So in which case, some of the decisions or many of the decisions are basically, highly questionable in terms of what is coming out. So this has been, one is cognitive, second is ability to his general mental fitness in terms of his ability to make decisions. I think this has been constantly questioned by some of his own party members as well as by obviously the Republicans.
Viewers, Terminal 1 of JFK Airport was down the entire day on the 17th of February. And is this like a power outage induced by playing with the software? I don't know. I would like to ask Sridharji. He is a New York native. What happened there, Sridharji?
Well, there's only one thing I can say as to what has happened. It is incompetence as well as complete and total mismanagement that is going on across United States. Well, this happens to be Terminal 1. So apparently they are still working on these so-called electrical outages, and they're going to be shutting down the airport on the 17th. All of 17th is already major disruption. Fortunately, it's not Terminal 4, it's Terminal 1. But if it's Terminal 4, it would have been complete and total chaos. It's one of the big terminals. Nevertheless, Terminal 1 is a big terminal, but it is not a very great news and not a very great picture for United States to look at all these things that is going on, Sriji.
They should look for squirrels in case some squirrels have eaten away the wires. That's what the Tamil Nadu Electricity Board minister says every time there is a power outage that he cannot explain. Just kidding, of course. Sir, Kevin McCarthy, the House leader, Republican leader, has said that one specific county is being run by a drug cartel. This is very scary, sir.
It is, and the drug cartel focus is basically shipping people. They're paid to ship people. In other words, smuggle people, if you have to use the word, very harsh word, smuggle people and smuggle illegals from the other side of the border and do other kinds of things. Along with it comes the drugs. So Kevin McCarthy visited the border. He assessed the situation and he's issued this statement. As a result of this, the crime around that area and inward into Arizona is dramatically increasing. Okay, if JFK Terminal One is one issue, border is another big issue. Let alone forget the train derailments that are happening. We haven't covered all of the train derailments that are going on across the country. But to put things in perspective, the story that is resounding is the complete total mismanagement that is prevalent. So we try to get the timeline in terms of what happened. February 3rd, the rail cars derail. Then February 3rd, the residents asked to evacuate. Then EPA monitors the air quality. Then there is a controlled release of the burning cargo, which means we are firing at some of those things so that it doesn't explode, but there is leakage, profuse leakage. Then evacuation site extended from close to about 1 mile radius. Then evacuations lifted. Then you have 20 rail cars reported carrying hazardous materials passing that line. Not detected any contaminations at which is of concern to on February 12th, which is what I pointed out. And then they say that the air quality is clear, and then the Norfolk Southern provides 1.2 million, if you think that is adequate money, to Ohio families. This is roughly the timeline of various incidents, various dates and time as to what has happened in the Ohio situation. And when you take a look at, there is still fire burning, profuse smell around that area, and they don't know when that will be put out. Since the chart came up, and I'm completing it with that conclusion, Sriji.
Thank you so much. And let's take a look at some India news. You already talked about the Soros incident. There's going to be a more detailed discussion right behind this program. We're going to have a follow-up. So stay tuned for that one. There'll be tweets out. And Sri Delhi R. Rajagopalan is collecting some very important information. There's also some other breaking news not covered by anybody else. We'll be the first one. So please come back for that link also. Next important thing, sir, 10 sensitive installations located in 6 states and 1 union territory: Telangana, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Kerala, Bihar, and Karnataka, and the union territory of Andaman and Nicobar declared out of bounds for general public per Union Home Ministry notification. Clearly, they've got a security alert, some sort of an attack or something like that, I guess. That's why they have given this. Now, the more important thing that is that the United States has passed United States senators have introduced a bipartisan resolution affirming Arunachal to be integral part of India. This is significant, sir. I don't think US ever talked about Arunachal Pradesh.
It is a very significant. It is bipartisan. The motion was moved by both a Democratic and Republican senator supporting the sovereignty of India and saying Arunachal is integral part of India, and China, stay away, don't create any mischief, and if you do, we are fully behind India to support. So it is a fantastic and a very positive development in terms of what is going on in that context, Riji.
And now let us take a look at Europe news. The NATO chief says it is time now for Turkey to ratify Sweden and Finland memberships. And sir, this is high time. These guys are holding out for way too long. I thought Sweden gave a lot of, they gave in to a lot of their demands already.
Well, I think that the moment is being seized. Turkey requires tremendous amount of money. The Turkish government has completely mismanaged the earthquake, and now I am told that the earthquake, the number of the death toll in the from the earthquake is crossed more than 40,000. I don't know
Oh my
what
God.
the final number is going to be. So Mr. Erdogan is really, really in deep trouble, and so therefore they're saying, okay, focus on your country, don't kind of block the nations which are under the threat of Russia. And so now shed your stuff and allow the two nations to be brought into NATO, and you can see what is going on. So he may concede given the circumstances that are against him, Sriji.
Now, there's a new surprise element in the access of Russia and China. South Africa has done some naval exercises with Russia and China. This is something totally new, out of the left field. Belarus says it will fight alongside Russia if only if Belarus is invaded. So there is a slight parsing of text there. I'm going to let you talk all these things, sir. Also, Moldovan parliament approves a new pro-Western government. Looking all together, so there is, it's just like World War II. People are choosing sides now.
World War Three, Sriji. It's World
I
War
know,
Three.
just like World War II. Now World
Yeah,
War III.
World
Yes,
War Two.
yes.
So World War Two. So it is. So what you're witnessing from many of these nations is what they're observing very clearly. Ukraine is a lesson. Okay, you are seeing Ukrainian economy and Ukrainian people being decimated, and they want pro-Western support to not only bail them out and support. So that is why we covered Moldovan prime minister making a statement that there is an attempted interference by Russians to influence. Now the parliament has approved the government, and so the government is coming into play. Now, Belarus is again interesting. It doesn't want to get into war. Okay, fine. Russia, I'm your ally, you be. But I'm not going to put boots on ground, and I'm not going to be sending people into the war only if I will do so, only if Belarus is attacked by the Western forces or NATO. So that's not likely to happen. Then, as far as South Africa is concerned, you can see South Africa is going left, 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 left. China and South African economy is in deep shambles. So it has corruption is quite rampant. So when you have rampant corruption, there's only two countries in the world, potentially two countries in the world, which comes to your rescue. The first and foremost will be lining up is China. You want to know about Myanmar? You want to know about Laos? You want to know about other African nations? You will find that China is the first country to come in and help. So South Africa is no exception to that rule. So South Africa receives a lot of aid. So what do? They line themselves with Russia and China right in the African shores. And lo and behold, we don't know what is going to happen to South Africa as a result of this move.
China sanctions Lockheed Martin and Raytheon over arms sales to Taiwan. So this is sort of like you take it for whatever it is worth. Next, China declares victory over COVID. These are the last two items. I have to rush because I need to take my breath back so that I can get ready for the next one. Big reveal, guys. Please come back and join that video because there's a huge reveal. I can't tell you more than that. It has to do with a symbol. Sridharji, thank you so much, sir. Today has been one of those days when you've got so much news happening that I can't even take my eyes off of the terminal. The stuff is just streaming in. Thank you once again, sir. Viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back again Monday, but in between, there may be another program. We're going to look at a totally different topic. Stay tuned. We will let you know via Twitter and Facebook. Namaskaram, sir. Talk to you soon.
Namaskar. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening and wonderful day if you're in US.